Hello and welcome to this Foleon webinar where we will tell you everything about what you can do with our Foleon API. We have some very interesting guests joining us momentarily, but before I introduce them, let's get the practical stuff out of the way. We'll take about 20 minutes. The live chat is open, so we're here to answer any question that comes up for you. And this is mostly pre-recorded, but again, we're available in the chat, so get those questions in and we'd be happy to help you throughout the content of this webinar. My name is Lopke Wijman-Ramesh. I'm the Community Marketing Manager here at Foleon, and we're joined by two experts today. Christiana is the first one. She's the Strategic Account Manager here at Foleon and talks to a lot of customers about how they're using it and what else they can do with our platform. And then Sten Edens is our integration specialist, and he very specifically talks with customers about setting up APIs and the different ways on how to get those amazing automations going. And then live in the chat, they are there, and also Marina is joining there. So again, ask your questions and we'll get this going. Christiana and Sten, thank you so much for joining us. It's really good to have you at this webinar today. Christiana, to kick it off with you, you do talk to a lot of customers, a lot of non-technical customers probably, just like me, and probably a lot of our audience members. Could you maybe explain what an API is?
Yeah, thank you, Lopke. This is a great question, and we also receive it quite often from customers as well. And I promise I'm not going to get too technical, but what an API is actually a mechanism that allows different systems, different tools, services talk to each other. So you can think of it like a two-way street. And the main goal is that you enable a seamless interaction between, in this case, Foleon, but any other in-house tools that you may be using to automate your workflows, to synchronize data, but also to really make Foleon be part of your MarTech ecosystem.
That's great. And then when you say two-way connection, integration, it definitely makes me think about setting up integrations which are, native integrations. Sten, could you take us through what the difference is between an API and an integration?
Sure. Yeah, that's a great question. Because there's actually a lot of overlap between the two concepts, right? API and integration. When we're talking about integrations, what we're usually talking about is a native integration, like you already said, which is an out-of-the-box solution, right? It's a solution made for a single purpose, which is often easy to use and easy to implement. Whereas an API integration is usually a lot more niche and a lot more customizable. So an API is usually a mechanism to set up your own custom integration. So native solutions are very easy to use and easy to implement, and API integrations are far more customizable, far more flexible, and thus open up a lot more opportunities for your specific use cases. So there's a lot of overlap, but the API is a little bit more in-depth in that sense.
That's great. So when we want more systems talking to each other two ways, Christiana, why would we want that? Like, what kind of business issues can it solve for us?
Yeah, another great question, Lopke. And actually, the API offers unlimited opportunities. But as we speak with customers more and more, I think we probably identify, at least for now, for this webinar, really three key areas that we want to showcase some examples from. And those are content automation, admin and user management, and publishing. And why this is important is because you can really automate a lot of things in your ecosystem, from campaigns, sequences, the way how the data flows. You want to become more efficient in the way how you create and scale the content, but also creative and strategic and smart in the way how you design all of those approaches towards your internal or external audiences.
Nice. And Sten, you've worked with all these customers, you've seen solutions for these three business results in action. What kind of real life API settings do I need to think about? What is possible?
Right. So lots of things are possible, right? With regards to the content automation, I'm going to be showing you some real life examples in a bit, but you can think about automating personalization and updating certain content. But you can also think about custom reports, right? Foleon generates a lot of analytics data, and you might want to set up an automation to funnel that analytics data straight to your warehouse without having to download it first and then upload it to another place. You can also think about publishing and unpublishing content, right? If you're starting a campaign and you want your Foleon docs to become available right at the point when the campaign begins, and then also make them unavailable again when your campaign has ended, we can automate that using API. Another use case that we've seen is localization, where people have a lot of Foleon docs in a single language, but they want them to have they want them localized in a bunch of different languages. We can use the API to export all the text elements in a doc and put them in a usable format for example, a localization agency. So you can easily import and export, or the other way around, export and import your text elements in various languages and really streamline that localization process. With regards to admin and user management, there's also some cool use cases. For example, adding and removing users or user roles. So you can think of integrating your identity provider, for example, and making sure that you only have to manage these user roles in your identity provider and not also in the Foleon platform. So that's all synced up. Or you can think about, for example, automating stuff in your admin dashboard in Foleon, doing workspace management, and that all from a third-party platform instead of having to move to the Foleon platform to do that management separately. And then in the third column, we have, for example, publishing opportunities. We can think about one-time password lists. A use case that we've seen there is, for example, people setting up email campaigns where they only want the people who've received that email to be able to access the content. And this can be automated using the API as well, so that these email addresses that you've sent the email to actually can access the Foleon doc using a one-time password. Or in the case of self-hosting, some people like to host their Foleon docs on their own servers instead of using the Foleon hosting. And we can include the Foleon API in there as well, so that you can get the most recent version of your Foleon doc in your deployment pipeline automatically, and you don't have to go to the Foleon platform, download the most recent version, upload it to your deployment pipeline, and you could all automate that in one streamlined workflow. So, but these are just a couple of examples that we could come up with, but the opportunities are endless with regards to this.
That's great. Thank you so much, Stan, for taking us through, of course, high level. And then if you want to discover whether an API is possible for you, whether it would help you as a result, I have a poll question for you. So please answer the poll and let us know if you would like to talk to a customer success manager to explore API settings for you. And a customer success manager can consult you to understand your business processes setup, and then also forward you and involve account managers when needed to then get this actually set up. All right. This is really interesting, Stan. Thank you so much. And I'm very curious if you could maybe show us an example like from an actual customer.
Definitely. So I've got two examples lined up. I'm going to quickly share my screen, start with the first one. I've got a spreadsheet right here, which basically contains a pricing sheet with a couple of packages and the prices per month and per year and which features come with those prices. And you can imagine that this data is placed in a number of Foleon docs, right? Or a number of pages of Foleon docs. So I've set up this example Foleon doc here where you can see a table with all these prices in there, and on various pages this table is used here. Now, in the case where this same module is reused and reused, you don't want to have to constantly edit every table if something changes in your pricing strategy, or if you add another feature, or if you're changing something around. And so the nice thing about this integration is that we can use a single source of truth, in this case a Google spreadsheet, but this could be any other platform that has an API connection, and put the correct data in that, and then from one place update all of these other pages that contain this pricing sheet. So what I can do here is I can go to my spreadsheet, and for example, let's say that the starter package per year changes from 19 to 29 a year. And maybe the offline access feature becomes available into the starter pack. So I'll add that over there as well. And now, once I've added this, I can press this update module button that I've created. It's running the script. And then once it's finished the script, we can go back to our Foleon doc, and you can see that now our per year price has been updated to the most recent price, and the features have been updated. And this is the case for every instance where this table is actually used, right? So this is a very fast and easy way to update a lot of content at the same time, while also ensuring that things remain consistent, so there's nothing left behind here. So that's one of, I think personally, the coolest use cases to really start streamlining your content creation workflows. So in this case, it's Google Sheets together with Google Apps Script. But this can be any other application that is used, for example, your data warehouse, or it might be your CRM or your ERP. There could be a lot of opportunities here with depending on what your tech stack looks like. In this example, I've chosen for Google Sheets because it's very approachable. But you can imagine any other application that is used to store data like this to work in the same way.
That is very interesting. Thank you for showing us this one. And I believe you have another example
Yes.
that you want to talk us through.
Yes, definitely. I have another example which is related to personalization. So many companies use HubSpot as their customer relationship management tool. So does Foleon. And the nice thing about customer relationship management tools is, of course, that you have a lot of information about your customers right in this tool. For example, in HubSpot, I'm in our Sandbox account right now, and you can see that I have my own contact here, which is, in this example, it's going to be a customer. So in HubSpot, we have a bunch of information about a content, for example, the country of origin, or which industry they work in. And so I can look at what my properties are. For example, if I go and look at the country, you can see that right now my country is set to Germany. Or if I go look for my industry, you could see that corporate services is my industry. And if we want to use this information in a doc to personalize a doc for a specific contact, we can actually use Foleon's personalization feature together with the API to create really documents specifically made for your contacts, and we can use the data from the CRM to populate those Foleon docs. So in HubSpot, I have set up a trigger to look for the lead status here, and we can change this lead status to, for example, say that if we had a meeting, but the meeting needs a little bit more qualification, or the lead needs a little bit more qualification, you can select that, and this is going to trigger a workflow that is going to automatically send an email to my email address with a link to a Foleon doc, which is personalized using the data from our contact records. So it's going to use my name, my last name, my industry, and the country of origin. But you can imagine that this data could be anything, right? It could be a specific call to action or specific information that is just for a specific industry. And this automation will then use that information into a Foleon doc. So I'm going to move over to my inbox right now. What you can see here is that the automation has now sent me an email. It's just gone in. And in the email, you will see there is a personalized link using the properties from my contacts. So if I open that link, we can now see this Foleon doc that just opened up. It's using my name, Stan Edens, or the customer's name in this instance. And if we scroll down a little bit, you can see here, check out the most relevant information for the corporate services industry in Germany. But if we would have said it's in the IT services industry in France, then those values would be populated in those areas. So this is a perfect way to without any effort at all, send out very personalized documents specifically aimed at your leads. So this is also one of my favorite implementations of the API.
Thank you, Stan. That's very interesting. Now, I want to show you an example of a customer that has set up a custom API. So we're going to play it for a moment. It's Comhar Partners.
My name is Katrina Falcon. I am the marketing director at Comar Partners, which is an executive recruiting firm based out of Naples, Florida. So Foleon, it's a lifesaver. We can use it for multiple different digital marketing avenues. We were primarily using Foleon for client marketing, and we were creating these capabilities presentations on PowerPoint. We had a page of logos, and I kid you not, we were sitting there switching out these logos one by one on PowerPoint. We were, copy pasting these company descriptions, and a light bulb went off, and I was like, we have this great tool that we use for our clients. We should use it for ourselves. Turned something that typically took 20 minutes into a 5-minute task. So that was just a huge time saver and a way that we've branded ourselves using Foleon. We now have also incorporated personalized progress reports. So personalization was one of the greatest things to roll out for us. We were able to use that personalization tool in the sense that it grabs our data and pushed it into Foleon. And having that all there was a huge game changer for us. The fact that this was now a one-click report that just populated and they could pull up on screen during those weekly check-in calls was huge for us. I can't imagine my life without Foleon, at least my work life. When we go to pitch to potential clients, I immediately talk about the biggest differentiator, and that is our digital marketing to our clients. Without Foleon, without digital marketing, these clients and other recruiting firms are sending out just static PDFs. They're just attaching these to emails and hoping for the best. I can't imagine doing what we do day in, day out without Foleon. I absolutely love the product. I look forward to working with them for many future years.
Nice. Well, Christiana or Stan, is there anything that you feel like we may have missed that needs to be shared about using the Foleon API?
I think we probably outlined most of the most common use cases that we see our customers using, but there is a lot more to explore. There could be some more niche use cases or scenarios that customers also welcome to brainstorm about with us. So feel free to reach out to us. There are a lot of opportunities, unlimited probably use cases we can explore, and we're looking forward to hearing from you.
That's great. Thank you, Christiana. Anything to add from you, Stan?
Yeah, no, I think the main key takeaway here is that indeed, like Christiana mentioned, is that the possibilities are endless. Anything you can imagine that you can already do in the editor or in the dashboard should be able to be automated using API. So get creative in your brainstorm sessions to see what kind of use cases would be helpful for you, and then there's a high chance that that we can do something using the API for that use case.
Thank you so much. Well, Christiana and Stan, thank you so much for joining us today, as of course being the experts in talking to customers and helping them set APIs up. You know what is possible, and talk to customers in real life situations. And again, ultimately it is about finding ways to optimize the operations for yourself, and of course something that fits within the programs and workflows that you're using. As a next step, when you're excited to discover how an API integration can help your company, you can talk to our customer success manager. So reach out, they're the consultants to help you make the best use of Foleon. And then also you can talk to your customers about the Foleon API opportunities that you've just learned about. And we are hosting webinars regularly, so feel free to join our next one. It would be great to see you there, or even watch some of the on-demand ones that we have available. You'll receive a follow-up email with a link to the next live webinar. And that was it. Thank you all so much. Thank you for asking your questions, for answering the poll. And Christiana and Stan, it was great to have you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.